One, two, three. Isn't it able to open your group settings? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. We are live. I hope so. And I hope that you can hear me. This is Jeffrey Paul, the founder of Wigs for Kids and Hair Loss University, as you see in my tag down below there. If this is the first time that you've been in one of our discussions or workshop or training programs, welcome. I want to be here tonight to help you profit and change lives of the people that you and I work on. The mission of the Hair Loss University is that very thing, is to be able to provide people that are losing their hair or are thinning to look themselves, live their life beautiful inside and out. We'll talk a lot more about that. But tonight's discussion is really important. It's important no matter what level of your level of experience is, whether you're in the styling business, whether you're in retail, whether you're in the trichology, whether you're in hair replacement, extensions, whatever it is, this is going to be more valuable than you can imagine. And the things I'm going to share with you, I've done a study now for my own private practice, and the hundreds of alumni from our Hair Loss University have called me since the pandemic and said, Jeff, prices are going up. How many of you could agree prices are going up? If so, in the comments, put yes so that I know that you're there. Yes, prices are going up. And if prices are going up, what do you do? Well, we're going to talk about that tonight. But if you stay for the 30 or 40 minutes that we share this free knowledge and insight and discussion, you're going to receive a $199 video tutorial training program about how to do pricing for profit in our industry. It was an award-winning program that I did for Hair Plus for Modern Magazine. I did it also for a number of other organizations and helped everybody from the beginning stages of their business to the absolute high level multi-million-dollar companies. They are able to utilize this system and the other resources that I provide you free, not $199, free. And that'll be at the end. I'm going to put a link in the comments, and all you do is click that, and you'll go to a page, and it'll ask you for your name and where we should send your free download of the videos and the resources and the workbooks and all the things that we created to help you price for profit, both in hair replacement, how to price a hair piece, how to price extensions, how to price the services that you render, and how to pay your staff. All things are important. But tonight, we're going to focus. We're going to focus on one very important thing. And what that thing is the aspect of how do you increase your prices. But first, I'm going to ask a question. Why increase right now? With everything else that's going on, Jeff, why should we do that now? I mean, now, why should we go on and aggravate our clients and make them more agitated with us? Everything else is going up. Well, let me share with you in a study that we did in our P&L at our private practice at Jeffrey Paul Hair and Scalp Specialist in Cleveland, Ohio. We found that over the last 12 to 14 months, we have been increased by our cost of goods and by our cost of hair systems and hair by 20 to 26%. Now, that's an increase across the board of 20 to 26%. And I know a lot of people in the hair business aren't always the highest level of P&L readers and analytical mind thinkers because they're artists. You're artists. But the internal numbers that represent what I'm talking about are real numbers that we've analyzed, and I've worked with manufacturers that I consult with. I work with my alumni, and they have concurred. They didn't know the number by the percentage I just gave you, but they realize it's going more and more. Well, how about you? You go to the gas tank, has it been increased? Have you gone to buy bread? Has it increased in groceries? Have you done anything that you have done in the last 12 months, especially last 3 to 4 months, that you have not seen an increase in the relationship of the cost of what you do? Eat, play, entertain, or whatever else it might be. Well, if you're in business today, whether it's a salon, whether you're an independent or franchise or chain center salons, or whether you're a hair replacement specialist or trichologist, if you're not paying attention to what I'm going to share with you, there is a high likelihood, and I'm a positive individual if you know me, but there's a high likelihood that you could be out of business in a very short period of time, especially because this is not ending. I just got off the phone with a manufacturer today that I consult with, and they told me that literally the factory is increasing almost on a every 2-week basis. That's hard to prescribe how to put that forward into your clients. But I've got some very important recommendations for you. First of all, if you have not increased your prices in the last 12 months, would you say no? In the comments, no. If you have increased it, say yes and tell me how much or percentage you increased it. So if you have not in 12 months increased your pricing in the last 12 months, then put no in the comments. If you have, just say yes and $10, 10%, whatever it might be. Because when I'm going to show you the formula of what you need to understand in your mind before you present that to your clients, is most important tonight. It's really important because, see, you are constantly increasing your talents, I hope. You're here. You're here tonight. If you're here tonight, you're increasing your knowledge for your business. And even though it may not have cost you anything in financial outpour, the reality is you're financing the time that you're here, and that's really important. And I see one of our comments is yes, 10%. Very good. We're going to talk about that percentage in just a minute. Another Facebook user said yes. So I can't see your names right now, but I will. But I thank you for those two answers, because again, if you have, then you are ready into the business flow. Every year we have a cost of living increase. Let's say we forget about the pandemic. We forget about the issue of all the issues with taxes and interest and all the financial issues that we're going through. Every year, you need to have a principal discipline to increase your prices, because you're increasing your knowledge. You're increasing your structure of business. You're increasing your quality. You're increasing and increasing. And if you're continually giving that quality level, then you need to constantly do what's necessary, which was increase by a minimum of 10% a year. You say, well, Jeff, I'm going to lose my clients. Well, let me ask you a question. Here's a real important question right now. How many of you out there right now are busier than you have probably been in a long time? In fact, that you've got a waiting list to get some of your services right now that you can't even get. And how many of you are having difficulty getting staffing to be a part of your organization, a part of your team? Raise your hand and say, I have that pain. If in the comments, I have that pain. If you have the pain that you're busy, but you're not making more money than last year, you're busy and you don't have time to fit anybody else in, you're busy and you don't have enough staffing to be able to facilitate where you have the clients calling for services, then put in there, that's me. Put in the comments, that's me. Because here's what's happening across the United States, and I know from Europe, because we work with so many of our Europe alumni, that the issues of the pandemic and the post-pandemic and the relationship of everybody coming out of the woodwork in the closet, so to say, to be able to get serviced is amazing. But the truth of it is, we aren't getting the increase that you need. But you've got a solid book, pretty much a solid book. Wasn't a problem 4 or 5 years ago. Everybody was trying to fill that book. But now many of us, stylists, hair replacement specialists, extension specialists. I talked to my friend Brent just the other night, and he was telling me how it was with extensions after extensions, and everybody's wanting to look their very best right now and do have the cash. But the truth of it is, he can't get enough people in. But here's the other important part. If you raise your prices, you're going to lose a few clients. Not many, especially if you've been doing a great job. But if in fact you increase your prices, both in your service dollars and your hair replacement extension and your hair addition costs, then you're going to have room for clients that want to afford that quality level. Now, you got to be confident of your abilities. You want to be confident that you're always continuing, as I said, educating yourself so that you're confident that you're more valuable than you were a year ago. If you're more valuable from a year ago and you've invested in yourself time, like tonight, and you've invested in financial education and training and programming, and you have truly probably remodeled or done something better to improve your facility, then you really must continue on the increase of salary. Now, how much? Many of you that put in the comments 10%. If nothing else, right now, announce month ahead of time, announce to your clients through an email, through personal conversation, through a handing of them a little note from you that is professionally done so that it looks really professional and quality level that you thought about it, and let them know that due to your quality of continual seeking of merchandising, continual searching for the best quality product, the best services, the best knowledge, that you need to increase your base price so that you can continue to service them at this level. You've got to do it with confidence. You've got to do it with the knowledge that not only that you're worth it, but that you're giving that quality, you're giving that service. But the 10% is at least a starting point to begin across the board to give an increase to your revenue income, to offset your expenses and your increase of costs. That's the balancing beam at this point. So with that said, you've got to realize that it's time to do it now. Why? As I told my own son who runs our operation at Jeffrey Paul's Hair and Scalp Specialist, it's important to do it now. Everybody already has the feeling and the burn of increase. If you wait a little bit too long, you're going to be at the tail end of the increase and you're going to be the focus of their pain. Yes. But if you're in the midst of the wave, like a surfer that surfs the actual surf into the shore, like we have with our video editor, Kath, out of the Philippines, she surfs all the time. She talks about how she hits the middle of that wave. That's where you want to be as the increase goes on, so that you're not out in front of it and you're not getting blamed for the increase. But let's talk about loss of clients. I mentioned it a minute ago that you will probably lose a few, less than you think, much less than you think. You will get complaints at times. That's given. Think about yourself. Don't you go to the pumping the gas going $5.26, but you fill it up anyways. And you really probably don't drive less. You probably thought about driving less, but you probably don't. You accommodate, you adjust, and if a client needs to spread it another week to make it balance out in their budget, they'll find a way, because what you and I service is a very essential. It's not just a beauty product, it's essential. It's hair thinning, it's hair loss, it's their image, it's their feelings, their emotions, their confidence. And when you're giving them that, they'll find a way to afford it one way or another in balancing their income and balancing their expenses. And if you're continually educating yourself, and I'm going to reinforce this, if you're continually educating yourself, continually bettering your center. I don't even care if it's just putting new flowers every week in your reception area. Whatever continues to brighten the view of your audience, your clients that come in, they're going to constantly feel that you're giving. And as you can constantly give, then you can receive not only compliments and tips and those type of things, but the increase of a value that you would receive as a professional at the high level. Now, another thing, when this all began about 14 to 18 months ago, when these increases of prices and everything else was going on across the globe, I contacted a lot of my colleagues and my friends in the business. And I said, what do you see and where do you see we're going to be? Where are we going? And Lance Centrafante, which is just an incredible friend of mine, but also an incredible icon in the industry of hair replacement and hair loss, said, we have to be at the high end. Jay shared with me as well. He said, you have to be at the high end because what's happening in the industry of hair additions, toppers, extensions is even online directly to the consumer is increasing. And so they're recognizing the cost, and the quality is going somewhat down because of the value of hair and everything else that's out there. It costs so much more. And if you're delivering the best of the best, you're going to have the clients that can afford and seek to afford that one way or another. Doesn't mean they got to be rich. They need to value that is the highest level in their budget. And they're going to say, I want the best. I don't want hair that tangles up. I don't want hair that falls out of the hair system. I don't want pieces that fall apart. I want hair systems that last. I want hair extensions to stay in. I want them to look beautiful for the entire duration of my wearing. That's when they begin to say, this is worth it because it's a value exchange. So when you begin to increase your prices by letting them know ahead of time why you're doing it, not just because you're, you just want to follow the mainstream of increase everything, but you're doing it because you want to maintain their quality and your quality of service and your quality of facility so that they can truly have the best of the best to maintain their ability to look themselves, live their life beautiful inside and out, man, woman, or child. Pause just for a moment. I want to know, is this making sense to you? Because I don't want to chatter on past the half hour that I want to be with you today. I want to be sure this is speaking to you because there's a pain that you feel and sense and need this kind of information. And I want to know that when you get to the end of this and you receive my bonus that I'm going to share with you, which is pricing for profit, and I go through a complete workshop of how to take the cost of goods. That means what the company sent you in the invoice that they sent with the hair piece or the extensions or the topper or whatever you might have purchased, and the surcharge and the shipping and anything else that went along with that, maybe a rush charge. If you put that all together, as I'll show you in my workshop, that you then have a positive markup. A markup is a multiple of the cost of goods that you were charged by your vendors. And then you have a markup, a multiple that will make it profitable for you. And I go through that in the workshop. But also the services have to also work in harmony with that, so that if you're doing a cut-in and you're charging the same as a haircut, but you're responsible for $1,000 hairpiece or a $2,000 hairpiece or more, or extensions, and you haven't trained in how to do it correctly, cutting or attaching, or you mess up, it's not like cutting a hair that you can know it's going to grow back. This is a complete redo, a remake. So again, there's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders as we continue to work in this business that is changing people's lives. So I'm advocating, especially for all my alumni from the Hair Loss University, that we need to continue to seek the highest quality vendors. And I've got a list of vendors in the university that we review. In fact, you'll see some of our reviews, our product reviews of the companies that are out there, both custom and pre-custom goods, and what you should be looking towards in pricing of those things, but also in the services. So there's services and your goods. The goods are hair pieces, extensions, wigs, and anything else that you may be putting on in addition to your services. These two have to be at the high quality level. So back to the subject matter of tonight. We need to understand, truly to understand, how to announce a salon price increase without losing clients. That was the title of today's workshop and discussion. So here's what I want to share with you. Confidence breeds confidence. I was watching the other day a football game, and Brady was I think it was less than a minute, and he was behind by a touchdown or more. This is a pro, and he didn't play very good the whole game, just speaking about watching and observing from the bench. But in turn, he wasn't playing a good game as he's capable of playing. But here comes the last minute, and something comes over him. I mean, even the announcers saw it, and I mean, I watched it. I watched his face, from his helmet. I watched his demeanor. I watched his confidence come up to a level that he drove his team down and made a touchdown, extra point, got the ball back again. This is all in a minute, and ended up running back down and made a field goal and won the game after losing the game practically up to the last minute. Confidence. Do you have confidence in yourself and what you do? Do you have confidence when you take that hair and present it to a client that it's the best possible that you can provide for them? Do you have confidence to the vendor who provided you with that they're going to back that up and back you up if there's anything that comes short of what quality you're paying for? See, you can buy things much cheaper. And in the past, that was an easy thing to do. But even the cheap goods today are more expensive than they used to be. So better to go with quality that lasts, but you have to charge for it correctly. Not gouge, not take advantage, not, leverage the economy issue and inflation and all that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about truly first give, then to receive. First, give the best you can give. And so it's necessary, as some of you have already announced, you have increased it already 10%. But why increase your prices? Because you're going to find that you're going to begin to prune, listen to this word, prune your vineyard. You're going to prune your vineyard to get the best grapes, the best clients that fit your model, your style, your price point. And even at the worst times of the depression, if you look in the history of the beauty industry, even at the worst times, the beauty industry always survived and thrived because of what we do for people, whether it's making them a beautiful haircut or beautiful makeup, or beautiful skincare, or beautiful hair replacement, or beautiful extensions, or beautiful wig. We're giving them the ability to look themselves, live their lives beautiful inside and out. That's essential. And they will provide somehow, some way to be able to afford that. It may mean they have to subtract something from their budget if they're not at an economical level that's easy for them to just throw another $100 at you. Or they are at that level, but they still want the very best. So let me share this with you in closing. It's so important that you realize your value of what you're providing, not how good you are. And what you are providing is greater than the product and even the talent, because providing the best merchandise and providing with the best quality service is what gets the highest price, because it's valued. It's truly valued. And I want you to value yourself. I want you to value what you do. And I want you to know why you do it. Because you're giving people the ability to look in the mirror and feel beautiful inside and out. To live their life and look themselves, not worrying about every time that they see their reflection in the mirror that they're bald, or they have hair loss, or they have thinning, or they just look old, or they just don't look their best self. That's what you're providing them for. So as Brady did with his confidence of coming back into the game and really taking it to the next level because he had the skill, he had the talent. But when I've worked on professional athletes and celebrities and those type of people, those are people that constantly maintain their quality ability. Short little final story. There was a janitor cleaning up the hall where they were going to have in music hall a concert, and this famous violinist was going to be playing that night, and he was cleaning everything up, working diligently, and he started to hear music coming from the back of the stage. And he went back there to see who was back there, and here was this famous violinist going at it like he was in the concert. And he stood there for a moment, and the violinist finally saw him and stopped and said, "Can I help you?" And the janitor looked at him with such awe and said, "Sir, I've read about you. I've heard about you. Everybody's so excited. The place is sold out tonight. Why are you practicing? You're the best in the world." And a pause came, and the violinist said, "My friend, the reason I'm the best in the world is I continue to practice, practice, and practice." I want to challenge you to continue to learn. And by learning, I mean never ending, always being a student and always being a teacher. Teach your clients and always learn from great sages and mentors and masters. So with that said, I'm going to give you right now $199 free workshop on pricing for profit. It's a full video production. It's got all the documents in it. It's got formulas for you. It's easy peasy, so to say, because I made it that way. So you don't have to be an accountant to do this, but I advocate you to take it in the video, take it to your accountant and see if he doesn't compliment you for that learning that you're getting from Hair Loss University. And if any of you are interested more in the Wigs for Kids organization that I'm a founder of, and you'd like to find out how to impact children's lives, how to really be able to service children for completely free and be able to service them and give them absolutely the same thing that you give your paying customers, which is that beauty inside and out, them looking themselves and living their life, then put a comment when you sign up so that you will get a little bit of information from us in regards to Wigs for Kids and becoming a certified service provider. Or maybe you're a ponytail cutter and you want to cut ponytails and provide hair from donors to our ability to make wigs out of those ponytails. So I hope tonight fed you. I hope tonight gave you some information. I hope tonight gave you a value. But click down below and you'll see in the comments that I know that Randy's going to be putting it in there, that you'll be able to work with the relationship of truly going through this video. Tell me what you think about it, and I'll tell you more about Hair Loss University. Watch every week. We'll have an education or a question and answer. Last week, we talked about the pains that people have in business, and if you've got a question, put it in the comments. If you've got a question that you're struggling with, this is a mastermind group. This is free. I'm doing this because I have believed in over 40 years of this industry is the best industry, better than medical. Medical is important, but it's better than medical. It's better than lawyers and doctors and accountants and any other profession, because we are at the top of the essential level, and not in the beauty part of it alone, but in the part that we play. As I've said earlier, over and over again, we are giving people the ability to look themselves and live their lives and look beautiful inside and out. That's a privilege. That is an honor. And that is something we need to take and value. And in valuing it, we need to price it correctly. So watch the video. Let me know what you know about it and think about it. And I will provide you with as much as I can. And I hope that we can meet in one of our live events. Or you might even want to join the Hair Loss University or the Wigs for Kids. And I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to. I promise 30 minutes. I'll let you get back for your glass of wine or whatever you're going back to dinner or visit your family. I'm going back with my wife. We're going to watch a movie and enjoy a glass of wine. And I hope that you have received some knowledge and education. Let me know. That's so important. That's why I do it. I want to know that it's getting inside you. And if it stimulated another question, let me know. If I don't have the answer, I will bring in colleagues and experts and specialists to help us find the answer to become the best of the best. And until I see you or hear from you again, remember, beauty begins within. That's so important to remember. I'll see you soon.